Buddy, welcome back. Today we're going to do Out issue 405 by our Upshot by Rob Williams, Will Conrad, and Marco Lesko. So let's dive in. So we see here, in the last issue, the vampire ripped the guy apart, and he's still doing that. There's a lot of bodies here. He's clawing and maiming. And then one of the soldiers is, not soldiers, but one of the POWs then wants to kill the flight lieutenant, and Nocona escapes because they think they are traitors. And Nocona says, well, I only told you one. And he says, you cannot control me. So this guy runs away. He goes to the wall, and then a German soldier says here, hey, you need to get off the wall, otherwise we're going to shoot you. So get off the fucking wall. And he says, let me out. But these soldiers don't, or maybe they do, see this creature. But they shoot them anyway. So he's now Swiss cheese. Small criticism here. No blood. That's a little bit disappointing. So other POWs are coming out, and they see this creature, and they, never see it. They don't know why our people are disappearing. And now they do. So this guy meets, makes a mistake and he comes too close. But then some other guy, I believe he's a priest or a pastor, he has a cross and, stands between this POW and the vampire. And he says, go away. The power of Christ compels you, stuff like that. But then the German soldiers are, using their lights with, I believe, iron crosses to control the creature. And they say to the POWs, Allied prisoners, return to your huts immediately. Return to your huts or suffer the consequences. So, and Nocona says here, while he's dragging the way of the flight lieutenant, says, the dishes, Luden lit it up, the cross dishes, that hurt it. He talks about Commandant Luden, who wants to make a deal with Nocona, as seen as in last issue. Check out my review, please. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Anyway, the POWs are in uproar. They are in panicking. They are, now that they know they are being, slaughtered one by one, or led to the slaughter, if you will. They want to use the hole that they are digging to escape, but the flight lieutenant says, no, we cannot do that because it's still unstable and too unsafe, and we need an expert to get us out of here. So he says to Bronson, this guy here who smokes, he said, we need you. And Bronson says, no, I'm not going to go into the tunnel, flight lieutenant, not ever again, I swore. I don't know why he is not doing that. He gives us a little bit hints here and there in the past issues about probably what's happened there. But so people are, very stressed, if you will. Then Nocona comes in and he wants to talk privately with the flight lieutenant, and the POWs look towards Nocona very suspiciously because they think he's still a traitor. So he speaks with Nocona, and Nocona means speaking with the flight lieutenant, and he says, I got an idea. I got us, can give us a chance to get out of here, but you have to trust me. Just give me an hour. But the flight lieutenant says, if you come not back with me into these camps, people will think that you are a rat. And Nocona says, I am not a traitor. I came here. I volunteer because I want to stop them. I need you to trust me. And the flight lieutenant says, I do. So again, like I said in the last issue, there is some quote unquote romance thing going on here. I have something to say about that. Not that these people are gay, but in my opinion, I don't think this whole scenario, there is no, let's say Nocona, what I'm trying to say, there is this whole romance plot is not needed at all. There is no, how do you say, I know that the flight lieutenant likes Nocona, but we don't know if Nocona is actually gay or that he has feelings for the flight lieutenant. but the writer represents us with, subtle tones like this, that we think, hey, these two are liking each other, but that's not the case at all. I'm coming back to the last issue because I read that, and that's for another video. So let's move on. So Nocona goes back to the Lieutenant or Commandant Ludin, and the Germans are escorting him to where the commandant is. But then he walks past some kind of an entrance of a command center, if you will, and there's a lot of computers and apparatus. And one of these scientist guys here says, they talk about that the generator just barely holds. Barely holds on, and that if it took a little bit longer, the whole system would fry. So that means that the power that they are generating is not enough to sustain those lights and crosses to keep the monster at bay somehow. Not sure how that works. I mean, it just lights, right? So why do you need so much power? I don't get that. But they speaking about some kind of a power surge or something. But Nocona remembers that part, which comes back to the last issue. And there's a lot of things in here that translates into issue number 5, the last one. So moving on. Ludin is here, and we see the hole where the vampire is here, and there's some markings surrounding that hole, this coffin-like hole. And Ludin says, "Do you see now, Nocona, how much they hate you?" He talks about the POWs. "But here, we value you. We have reached the moment. There is no more time. I need your answer. Will you help me end this suffering, and this killing?" Nocona says yes. So he goes into the pit or the hole, and the vampire is there waiting and talking to Nocona. And Nocona talks about that he uses or wants to use his language. Well, it's not a power. He's a translator, basically, to help people. But all he has seen is misery, and this war is brings out the worst in them, something like that. But the vampire, he wants to get out, of course. And Nocona says, "Commandant Ludin wants you to follow his orders, to fight the war and to destroy the Allied army. And in return, there will be a world for you to rule, a seat for you at their Führer's table." But then the vampire says, "A seat at the table, like a servant?" And he says that he was once a great king. We don't know where or when it happened. The vampire says, "I know evil. I drink the blood of Satan himself." And I'm sorry, I cannot read it very well because it's a little bit dark in here. He says that, that there are a couple of millions in the world, and all of these people do, instead of building a society where they can live in peace, they just make war for power and whatnot. And he sees them, he says that he has seen them kill each other, or they will be killed at his hands, which is very interesting, saying that he is basically all-powerful because, well, he's a vampire. But then he says to Nocona, that he wants to help Nocona kill them all, but in return he wants to escape. He wants to get out of the pit to be free. So there's no answer from Nocona, and we switch to this guy real quick. And this is the pastor that I talked about, and he is praying to his God. And then he says something like that the God has put him here for a reason. And then he goes out to do something. Also, that goes into issue number 5. So this guy says, "Cook, where are you going?" And Cook is never to be seen again in this issue, because he'd go into the next issue. Can you still follow it? Okay. So Commandant Ludin pulls Nocona out of the pit, and he says, "Well, will it side with us?" And he says, yes, there will be blood. But then Nocona stumbles, and Commandant Ludin is very impressed with Nocona's work. He says, you going into that pit, Nocona, all by yourself without fear, and you show a lot of courage. You have earned your reward. And he says that when this is over, I will see to it that you have a great house in the south of France, the blue shores of the Mediterranean. You can raise a family there. Be happy. We will be at peace. And when they walk away, you see that where he stumbled with his knee, he erased deliberately parts of the markings that hold the creature down in that pit. Smart. Skipping a few pages. So the hour is up. The POWs have waited long enough and they want to escape. So they go into their hole that they dig. And Commandant Ludin is mocking Jesus Christ, and that he will be now the judge of all the things that are living. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So also Nocona is retaliating because this German soldier or this Nazi says something about that the commandant that likes Nocona, and he says, you must be he must find you pretty, eh? Maybe I come to your private room and make you not so pretty again like last time. So Nocona has is being fed up, and has a bone probably from the the skeletons that is in the pit of the vampire. I'm just guessing, but that looks like it. So he kills them, and he takes the MP40, because I believe this is an MP40, right? Maybe some of you can tell me if this is an MP40, yes or no. I'm not an expert on weaponry. Maybe you can tell me. And he shoots the German soldiers, and again, no blood. Here is blood, but no blood in here. Okay. And also, is this how you hold a weapon? I don't think so. I've been in the military myself. This is not how you hold a weapon. Okay, minor nitpicking. So Nocona escapes, and the German soldiers, along with Ludin, hears the gunfires and the shouting, and they think they are being attacked. And then Ludin says, skipping a few pages again, he says that we are very well protected, I assure you. And then the creature is behind them. End of issue 4. Yes, I like this issue. I like the series. There's some things there that I don't like, but I highlighted a little bit. But overall, this is a very cool horror comic with a cool premise. I'm going to tell you what I think about issue 5 very soon, so stick with me, guys. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.